The unemployed sister. Just try not to say too much, okay? We don't want you embarrassing us in front of Zane's family. Those words, uttered by my own mother just minutes before my sister's fiancé and his parents arrived, felt like a slap in the face. I stood in front of the hallway mirror, smoothing down my simple pastel dress, swallowing the lump in my throat. For the past year, I had been the designated failure of the family. While my older sister, Alize, was a successful corporate lawyer marrying into an incredibly wealthy, high-profile family, I was the one who had been laid off from my marketing job due to company downsizing. Instead of support, my family gave me judgment. To them, my unemployment was a dark stain on their otherwise perfect reputation. When the doorbell rang, my mother gave me one last warning look. If they ask, just say you are taking a sabbatical, or focusing on your hobbies. Don't mention the job hunt. I followed her into the living room. The atmosphere was thick with luxury. Zane's parents were dripping in designer clothes, and Zane himself looked like he stepped out of a magazine. Alize was glowing, basking in the attention. As we all sat down, my mother immediately began her usual routine of bragging about Alize's achievements. But then, Zane's mother, a sharp-eyed woman named Mrs. Farhan, turned her attention to me. And what about your younger daughter? What does she do? Mrs. Farhan asked, sipping her tea. Before I could even open my mouth, Alize chuckled nervously and chipped in. Oh, Sana, she's currently unemployed. She's just staying at home right now, helping mom around the house. The room went quiet. I saw the smirk on Alize's face and the look of sheer embarrassment on my mother's face. They didn't just hide my situation, they actively used it to make Alize look better by comparison. I felt exposed, humiliated, and incredibly small. Mrs. Farhan just gave a polite, pitying nod and changed the subject. For the rest of the evening, I was treated like a ghost. I served the food, cleared the plates, and listened to them talk about millions of dollars as if I didn't even exist. But life has a funny way of turning the tables. 2 months later, I finally landed a job. And it wasn't just any job. I was hired as the head of creative strategy for Apex International, one of the largest multinational firms in the city. The salary was incredible, but more than that, it was a position of real power. I didn't tell my family. The hurt from that dinner was still fresh, and frankly, I wanted to build my confidence in peace without their skepticism. Fast forward to last week. It was the grand engagement party of Alize and Zane, held at a luxury hotel. My parents had practically begged me to wear something modest and stay in the background, so I wouldn't distract from Alize's big day. I chose an elegant, sharp emerald green pantsuit, professional, sophisticated, and definitely not invisible. During the cocktail hour, Zane's father, Mr. Farhan, was standing in a circle with several prominent businessmen. My family was standing nearby, trying desperately to mingle with them. Suddenly, the doors opened, and the CEO of Apex International, Mr. Raymond, walked in. He was the guest of honor that everyone had been waiting for. Mr. Farhan immediately rushed over to greet him, with my parents and Alize trailing closely behind, hoping for an introduction. Mr. Raymond smiled, shook Mr. Farhan's hand, but then his eyes scanned the room and locked onto me. His face lit up. Sana, there you are, Mr. Raymond called out loudly, walking right past Mr. Farhan and straight toward me. The entire circle went dead silent. My mother's eyes widened in horror, assuming I was about to get kicked out for bothering someone important. Good evening, Mr. Raymond, I said, offering a confident smile. I was hoping you'd be here, Mr. Raymond said warmly, turning to Mr. Farhan and the other executives. Gentlemen, I believe you haven't met Sana. She is the brilliant mind behind our entire upcoming global rebrand. In just a few weeks, she has completely transformed our market strategy. Honestly, we'd be lost without her. Mr. Farhan's jaw practically dropped. He looked at me, then at my parents, who were standing there completely frozen, looking like they had just seen a ghost. Wait, Zane's mother, Mrs. Farhan, stepped forward, her voice trembling slightly. Sana, you work for Apex, but I thought you were unemployed. I looked directly at my sister Alize, whose face had turned completely pale, and then at my mother, who was suddenly sweating under her heavy makeup. Oh, that was just a temporary sabbatical, I said smoothly, using my mother's favorite word with a polite smile. I was just waiting for the right opportunity. And taking over the creative direction at Apex was exactly what I was looking for. Mr. Farhan immediately stepped forward, his attitude completely changing from cold pity to absolute respect. Sana, that is incredible. We have been trying to get a meeting with Apex's creative team for months. We would love to collaborate with you. For the rest of the night, I wasn't the hidden, embarrassing sister. I was the center of attention. Top businessmen were handing me their cards, and Zane's parents couldn't stop praising me, trying to win my favor for their own business interests. Meanwhile, my mother and Alize stood in the corner, completely isolated by the truth. They had tried so hard to bury me to keep up their perfect image, not realizing that the daughter they were ashamed of was the only one holding the keys to the future they so desperately wanted. When we got home that night, the house was silent. No one said a word. They didn't need to. The lesson had been learned. Never underestimate the person you think is down, because you might just find yourself looking up at them tomorrow.